It's getting mighty cold here, so I brought out the big guns today in terms of clothing. And I have to say, so much for facial recognition, right? I really like that other location where I just was, but the wind was bitter cold over there and the sun was right by. Right now the sun is over there. There's a wall right behind the camera, so it's blocking the wind. So this is a little bit better location for today, but I'll have to go back there another day. At a different time of the day, apparently, when the sun is at a different point in the sky. But let me get right down to this. Okay, this one's kind of off the cuff, right? I know that you probably think my YouTube channel is like most other YouTube channels out there, right, Winston Frederick Sterzel? It's just out to make a buck, right, Winston Frederick Sterzel? No doubt your YouTube channel is Winston Frederick Sterzel. I'm not even going to list the various ways that you make money from your YouTube channel, Winston Frederick Sterzel. I make nothing, Winston Frederick Sterzel. As a matter of fact, obviously it costs me money each video to make these videos. Although I do enjoy the interaction when people comment on my videos, I'm making these videos for you directly, Winston Frederick Sterzel. I'm speaking directly to you, Winston Frederick Sterzel. And I know that you're watching Winston Frederick Sterzel through various contacts that contact us both. In today's video, I'm going to point out a few of the ridiculous statements you've made recently, Winston Frederick Sterzel. Some of the things you said make it obvious, so obvious, that your sources of income go beyond just YouTube alone. You know what I mean, right, Winston Frederick Sterzel? Take this one, for example. This one is from the China show a week ago.
When I was putting this timeline together, I specifically did not include any stabbing incidents, of which there have been many.
Oh, many.
Yeah.
We can't show that.
No,
Nor do we want to.
Yeah.
You didn't find any incidents of stabbings, which is the only reason you didn't include any, Winston Frederick Sterzel. Is there anyone out there who actually believes that you wouldn't include stabbings if you found any? We can't show that, nor do we want to. Okay, so is that like a commitment on your part not to show any more stabbings, Winston Frederick Sterzel? Come on, who are you kidding? Definitely not me. The rest of my clips are all from yesterday.
I could make a Rumble channel and show these horrible stabbings and stuff, but there's no point.
That's not what we do.
It's not. I don't
You
really
get the
want.
idea,
Yeah, I don't
guys.
really want to be associated with that stuff because at the end of the day, I'm all about solutions.
Yeah.
And the only reason for even bringing this stuff up is so people can talk about it and it can know about it. And with China, I honestly think the only way you can enact any change in China is by embarrassing the Chinese government so much, uncovering exactly what's going on to such a degree that they have to be like, okay, we can't just cover it up. We have to do something about it.
Yeah.
Such a line of BS. That's just delusional. Do you actually think the Chinese government is watching you? You're seriously coping, Winston Frederick Sterzel. It's all for the money and nothing else, and you know it.
Now, last week we showed you this horrendous case, and we're not going to show it to you again, don't worry. We're just showing you the screenshot to remind you of this crazy guy who ran down all these students.
Yes.
Okay? And we showed you a whole lot of that.
Another
By the way,
ruination thing.
that has not stopped, but we've decided there's no point in us showing you every week all the incidents because, you know what? Then you get desensitized to it. Then it just becomes the new normal, and you're just like, whatever, it doesn't matter. A bunch of people got run over, so what?
Yeah.
It's shocking. It's shocking that people are still running over children and innocent civilians every day in China.
On a daily basis.
It's shocking.
Yeah. It's
Okay?
ruination. It's
But-
part of ruination.
One thing, because of course we couldn't show you the uncensored version of this clip. We'd never do that. But I've seen we've seen the uncensored version of this, and you see those bollards, right?
Yeah,
they
we
actually
call
look
them
like
traffic barriers in
balls.
America,
Okay,
yeah.
they look like big balls over there. The whole reason for those bollards in the first place is to prevent somebody from, whether it's by accident or on purpose, driving onto campus.
But they're not working because they didn't work here.
They didn't. If you see the original footage, they just get knocked aside as if there weren't even anything, right? So he knocks them aside, manages to run over some kids, does a U-turn, knocks some more of them aside, and goes back down that road, knocking over a bunch of innocent people and children. And there's a reason why. Can you guess why? It's because they're just stupid fiberglass fake garbage.
There's so much wrong with that clip, Winston Frederick Sterzel. You didn't find any new clips of people using their car for revenge on society attacks, did you, Winston Frederick Sterzel? There's absolutely no other reason that you didn't include any clips, Winston Frederick Sterzel. You say you're not going to show that every week, right? Because people will become desensitized. So much crap, Winston Frederick Sterzel. If you find it, you'll show it. You didn't find any Winston Frederick Sterzel for this show, for yesterday's show. Then you show an image of a bollard that's supposedly made from fiberglass. I'm not even sure that's not photoshopped. It might be, but if it is photoshopped, I know that you didn't do it, Winston Frederick Sterzel, because the image is several years old, Winston Frederick Sterzel.
我多年的信仰突然崩塌了，这个玩意儿竟然不是实心的！我多年的信仰突然崩塌了，这个玩意儿竟然不是实心的！
Even though you insinuated that it's related to a recent incident, Winston Frederick Sterzel. You know for a fact that it isn't Winston Frederick Sterzel, but you still said it was, or you led people to believe that. How low can you go, Winston Frederick Sterzel? Wait a minute, don't answer that.
I mean, think about it, right? You have to put them out there because that's now the law or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, okay, listen, we got to stop people running over our kids. The government's like, okay, make sure that you've got bollards.
Those bollards are not new, Winston Frederick Sterzel. They were in use even many, many, many years ago when you were in China, Winston Frederick Sterzel.
You know what is effective, though, is if you guys please like the video. If you're watching, it does help us a lot.
We would appreciate
Before
it.
we move on to the next segment. Thank you very much.
But this is not the next segment because we're going back.
Yeah, this is also part of Ruination. I just want you to remind...
Just remember we showed you this hospital collapse, okay, in the beginning. I'll show you one more time just to remind you that this was, yesterday? And this is a brand new hospital ceiling falling down. Bam. Okay.
You really didn't put much effort into yesterday's show, did you, Winston Frederick Sterzel? You showed that video twice, and it's not a hospital collapse, Winston Frederick Sterzel. It's a suspended ceiling. Also, obviously, there was a person working up there. You claimed it was Tofu Construction that caused it. So lame, Winston Frederick Sterzel.
Now, we've got another clip from another hospital, and this is all relevant just to bear with us.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't need to see that whole clip again. We'll just fast forward through that. Okay, is this?
Yes.
Okay,
Right after this one.
yeah,
This is only a little bit of it.
yeah, okay.
Just
So-
reminding people of the hospital thing.
Yeah, exactly. We had to remind you. What do you see, guys?
Oh, here we go. Guess this is a different place.
This
the
is
physical
a
sensors.
completely different city.
We need to-
completely.
no.
I have seen so many dead bodies lying on the street in China.
Dozens.
You've seen so many dead bodies lying on the streets in China, right, Winston Frederick Sterzel? You've got over 1,000 videos on your channel, Winston Frederick Sterzel. Where are the videos of all these dead bodies lying on the street, Winston Frederick Sterzel? You lie almost as much as your father, Winston Frederick Sterzel. Maybe next, you'll start telling stories about how you escaped death in China yourself, right, Winston Frederick Sterzel? Just like your father.
So I want some people to have something to take away with. Now we know why this ruination, whatever trend is taken off, right?
Yeah.
We understand what's going into this. We understand why it's a continuation of Lie Flat. But we also want to tell you that this shame shield thing, this is not where this ends.
And again, this is not some little fad. This is
No.
now being used
Yes.
on the daily basis in China. Whenever there's anything that's a little inconvenient,
Yes.
they just block it out.
But I think some people that don't have a full understanding of China, maybe you're a new viewer, you haven't seen what we cover often. You might think that, okay, well, when it dies down, they covered it up with these shame shields. No, she goes to jail.
Yes.
She gets disappeared probably forever.
Yeah.
If you cause a public disturbance or what we call society stability management, if you go against stability management in China, that's the
Social harmony.
One of the highest crimes in China.
yeah.
So this doesn't end with shame shields.
Yeah.
They black bag you.
So yeah, I know this one was your partner saying something really stupid, Winston Frederick Sterzel. But why didn't you slap the guy? Just whack. Your partner claimed that she'll be put away for life over this. We'll never see her again. He claimed that it's one of the highest crimes you can commit in China, Winston Frederick Sterzel. Are they yelling at her to drop to her knees, put her hands behind her back, come towards the sound of my voice? Like they would in the US, they'd probably have their guns drawn, right? The police are handling this protester with kid gloves, Winston Frederick Sterzel. They're not touching her. Well, they're covering her up. You can see that from the video. That doesn't stop the audio, does it, Winston Frederick Sterzel? Your partner totally made that bullshit up. Sorry for the language. And he has no context for what he said. That's part of what makes it so damn obvious that you guys are just paid stooges, Winston Frederick Sterzel.
Hope you've learned something from this, guys, because it's time for people to wake up to this bullshit.